Video number 73, compound interest, compounding more than once a year. Well, this is the formula for compounding interest once a year. Here's compounding more than once a year, where n is going to be the number of times we compound interest. So if you compound an interest monthly, we would do 12 for n, and we would multiply the number of years times 12, because we would be compounding interest. This really means how many times you're going to compound interest. So if you had 10 years, and we compounded monthly, it would be compounded 120 times because you would be compounding each month, but we would spread the rate out into 12 different parts per year. So to illustrate this, to understand this, let's discuss the following. 12% interest compounded quarterly. Instead of compounding 12% one time a year, we're going to compound 3% 4 times a year. We do that by taking 12% divided by the 4, kind of like from the formula, 12% divided by 4 here, okay? Another way to do this would be to compound interest monthly. Instead of compounding interest 12% just one time a year, we're going to compound 1% interest each month, and that would be a total of your 12%. So that's why we do 12 times a year. So that's the idea of compounding interest more than once a year. So let's go to the, from a previous video, we did compounded interest annually. Well, let's take a look. What if we did monthly for the same example? We did $4,000, 9% for 5 years. Well, we're going to do 4,000 times 1 plus 0.09 over 12 to the 12 times 5 power. Okay? That's going to give us 4,000 times 1 plus. Now, this is how you're going to type it in the calculator. You're going to have a parentheses, 1 plus another parentheses, 0.09 divided by 12, and then a double parentheses here to the 60th power. You may have to use the caret button 60. Okay, so you may have to do that. If you want, you could also do caret 12 times 5. You can, but make sure you put the 12 times 5 in parentheses. Okay, and then of course you're going to round to the nearest dollar, 62.63, or to the nearest cent, 62.72 cents. All right. Now we can also use this for finding a present value. So let's just say you want to have that $500,000 in retirement 25 years from now, and let's say we were able to get the interest compounded quarterly, which is actually typically what happens in a mutual fund. The interest does usually get compounded more than once a year. So our goal here is $500,000. We want to find the principal that we need to invest. Excuse me. So we're going to have 1 plus 0.08 divided by 4, because it's compounded quarterly, to the 4 times 25 power. 25 years times the number of times compounded per year. So now we're going to have 500,000 equals the principal times 1 plus parentheses, double parentheses over here, 0.08 over 4 to the 100th power. How are you going to get P by itself? Dividing by this. So we do 500,000 divided by 1 plus 0.08 over 4 to the 100th power. Now we're going to use the rounding up principle, because we need to have the 500,000. If you round down, you're going to fall short of the 500,000 by a few pennies. So we make sure we have the 500,000 by rounding this up to 49 cents. You can check your calculator. We actually would have rounded down otherwise, but whenever you're finding this present value question, we're always going to be using the rounding up principle. All right? So, if you guys have any questions, send me an email, and of course, good times.